Web presence goals. What is it that you want your website for your business to represent? Start with identifying the different purposes that you're going to use your website for. Is it a sales brochure that you're using to bring awareness to your product or service? Is it to identify details about your products or services? So you want a showroom. Do you want to be able to present financial reports? Are you looking for employees? So you want to be able to bring employment information to your site. If customers are having difficulty, do you want to give them a contact point so that they can get the assistance that they need? And finally, what about a payment center? Do you have customers that need to be able to make payments to you? If so, you need to make it easy for them to be able to make that happen. So once you've started looking at the overarching ideas, then you want to get into specific objectives. What are you planning to use your site for? And you want to target toward those specific purposes. Attract visitors to your site. Well, to do that, you need to make it interesting so that people stay and want to play. Convince visitors to follow information links. If you've got them hooked on something in your site, they're much more likely to stay put and look around. Be consistent with your company image. Have different pages have similar looks and feels so that as people go through the different pages, they realize they're still at the same location. You're building trust with potential and current customers by having security in place. Make sure that the information that they provide to you is held confidentially and that you let them know it's going to be held confidentially. Encourage visitors to return to your site by offering them a reason, either with new content, contests, opportunities to get involved, or an opportunity to comment on specific products. You'll want to reinforce a customer's image of the organization. So whatever the brand feel that you're trying to create, continue that onto your website so that continuity stays put. Let's take a look at an example website. Lee Jeans. Now this isn't the opening page. This is from their Fit Finder area, Fit Finder. And when I click on it, it not only gives me something that I can interact with, but it does it in a very gentle, non-offensive way. For example, comfortable through the waist, slimming without being tight and uncomfortable. As we get older, we may not be looking for something along the skinny jeans line. So without saying, these are for senior citizens, they can still let people know that there is a fit that would make you feel comfortable. They also give you a way to interact more specifically. So when you click on body type, you're able to interact, answer questions, and walk through different scenarios, in this case thighs and waist, and determine what's going to work best for you. So you're staying on their site longer, and the longer you stay on their site, the more likely it is that you're interested in their product. Looking still at Lee, we can see that we can shop online. And if we look at Shop Plus, something that's very important here is they use models that are of similar size to what people would be if they were purchasing the product. And that's very important because it gives people a more realistic understanding of what something is going to look on them when they get the product to home. It's very frustrating to have a size 0 model wearing something and you get it home and it doesn't look anything like what you had in mind. So if you are selling clothing, keep in mind, have people represent the items as closely as possible. Your customer service will pay off in the long run. Here's another example. Here's another site to take a look at, Ford.com. What does it make you feel when you look at it? Looking at the buildings in the background, what is it that the marketers are trying to evoke as far as feelings are concerned? Why did they choose these color cars? and with the gray beneath them as a neutral. Analyze various sites and break them apart. Look at your competition in detail and see why and what it is that they're doing so that you can choose those best elements for your own site. You want your site to meet your customers' needs. When you're designing the site, get people's input. Make sure that you maintain a customer-centric approach. Design for how your visitors will want to get around, not for by department or hierarchy that you feel might be critical. If there is critical information, make it easy to find. If I go to jcpenney.com and try and find how to pay my credit card, it's this tiny little about 6-point type in the bottom right corner. In fact, let me show you because it's just ridiculous. If I want to be able to pay my bill, I come all the way down here in this tiny little type for my credit card information. I would love a button to be somewhere up here, pay credit card, or just credit card, or something, so that it's easy to be able to find and get to. It's important to avoid inflated marketing statements, but that's anywhere in your marketing. You want to be as accurate as possible. You also want to avoid business jargon. If you have acronyms that are common in your industry, they may not be known to everyone. Let's say, for example, you have a business-focused, a business-to-business site. People within that business and within that industry might be aware of what your jargon is. New people who are interested in that area may not be aware. Try to avoid business jargon whenever possible and focus specifically on a customer who is at a base level of knowledge. Once again, as we talked about before, be consistent with your use of color and design. Create that same brand feel throughout your entire site. Navigation needs to be easily marked so that people don't fight to be able to get from point A to point B. Keep disability standards in mind. You want to be able to make sure that people coming to your site who have visual impairments have ways to be able to get to what they need to within your site, and conduct usability tests. Bring people into your site who may not have awareness of your product or service so that as they explore your site, you're seeing things with fresh eyes. Now, there's a variety of different types of shoppers that go online. They might go one day as a browser and the next day as a bargainer. It really depends on their situation and their immediate needs. In general, simplifiers are looking for convenience. They're attracted to sites that make business or make doing business easier, faster, and more efficient. For those people, if that's where you want to focus, you want to be able to make it very easy for them to do business. Walmart is a great example. The goal of their site is to get you information about a product with as few clicks as possible, get it into the shopping cart, and allow you to check out as easily as possible. Surfers, well, they like to explore. They like to see new ideas and information while they shop. They want you to entertain them. They spend more time than any of the other groups, in fact, probably all put together. In order to keep them entertained, you need to offer a wider variety of content. It needs to be attractive, of course, that's with any, and well displayed, but you need to provide consistent, frequent updates, because they'll be checking your site often. Bargainers are looking for a good deal. Yep. Statistics show that they make up less than 10% of the online population, but they are more than half of the visitors to eBay. So they like looking for best price, shipping terms, and they're willing to visit multiple sites to get what they want. So if that's the group that you're trying to target, you want to let them know right off the bat where you stand regarding discounts, shipping, coupons, things like that, so that they know that they're getting the best possible deal anytime they work with you. Connectors, well, those are the social people. They like to stay in touch with other people. They like chat rooms, instant messaging, electronic greeting card. They may not always purchase, but they do like to stay in touch. So by giving them a place to comment on products, it allows them that opportunity to create that social connection with others that are interested in your product. Routiners and sportsters, well, they like to go to the same sites over and over again. They generally have them bookmarked so that they don't have to do a lot of searching. They like the comfort of an interface that they know well. So when you make changes to a site, keep the framework the same so that you don't have people wondering where the information that they've grown comfortable with has gone. There are 5 stages of customer loyalty. So we first start with awareness, and those are, of course, the customers who are recognizing the name of the company and the products or services that you offer. They're just getting to know you, so there's not a great deal of trust built, and they chances are haven't had any interactions with your company. So it's important for them to be able to connect with you and to glean what your brand is by looking at your site. They need to build that trust through visual awareness. Then once they've grown comfortable, they're ready to explore. So they'll visit your website to learn more about you and well, they might communicate by telephone or email if they have additional questions. If you have a face-to-face store, they might stop by to learn more or to even ask questions. Next is familiarity. And it's those customers that have completed several transactions and they're aware of your company's policies and, well, regarding returns and credits and pricing. And they're comfortable with you. They're likely to buy from you over and over again. Next is commitment. So once you have someone who's purchased from you repeatedly, they've grown comfortable and they are familiar, if they cross into that trust area, then you've built commitment. They've had highly satisfactory encounters and they become fiercely loyal to your brand. To lure customers from the familiarity stage to the commitment stage, you can sometimes make concessions on prices or terms. Coupons are a great way to be able to do this. They can go through this repeatedly. Each one of these steps is also applicable for the first-time buyer. They become aware, they explore, they become familiar, they make the commitment to purchase, and then they're finished, so there's a separation. What you don't want, or what you want to avoid, is conditions that make the relationship change. Customers might become disappointed with the level of service or with product quality. Prices may go up to a point where a customer isn't ready to do business with you. Anything that changes that commitment level with that customer for the long term is considered separation, either partial or complete. And your goal is to be able to minimize that and bring the customer back to you so that they're re-aware of a new stage of product, builds their loyalty, and builds their commitment again. Next, we're going to go through some terminology that's common to marketing and to e-marketing. So we'll go through these fairly quickly, but you should be aware of these, and I will be testing you on them at some point. So conversion is the action of converting a first-time visitor to a customer. You're converting them from surfer to commitment. Acquisition cost, how much it costs you to get that customer. So you can look at the cost of maintaining your website, the cost of any additional marketing that you do, how many customers are you getting, and that can help you determine the acquisition cost per customer. It's important to ask how customers hear about you so that you can determine that return on investment. Is the acquisition cost higher or lower than what I'm getting out of it for sales? Retained customer, well, that's a returning customer. You've retained them repeatedly. Retention cost, similar to acquisition cost, but in this case it's how much does it cost to keep your customer. If you have to use coupons, if you have to do a great deal in order to maintain that commitment, then that gets expensive. Banner ads. Those are small in-page ads, well, they vary in size. And you put them on other people's websites in order to cross-market to you. Let's see if we can pull something up. This Capital One ad is considered a banner ad. It's a specific size and it advertises Capital One from within MSN. Next on our list is animated GIFs. Those are small computer image files that, well, they give the impression that an object has movement. Let me see if I can come back with this and get it to move again. There we go. So it's just a series of pictures together and it gives the feeling that it has movement. A newer version is video in a banner ad so that you have